It's a night from a million hits. Dedicated to the gone and never forgotten. R.I.P. Nip. R.I.P. John Singleton. R.I.P. AJ, CJ. EZL4. Keisha Mike. Check it. Losing a lot of real ones as we go into this war of Armageddon. It's like, where would you when you got the call? Kicking back, sipping yak at the barbecue, watching basketball. Did you get the call when the cell phone ring? And you hit the weed and the homie called, and I couldn't believe what I saw when I hit the scene. Should I call your mom or your pops? I don't really even talk to cops. Whoever did it gon' get the business. Don't leave no witness. War never stop. Do the homework, location lock. Slide up on you, up on your block. Don't touch the kids on the wife. Other than that, everybody else get shot. Ain't no running, man, the streets get hot. I hope we don't shoot it out with cops. I don't really care if I'm wrong or not, cause I'm getting life if I'm dead or caught. Take one of mine, we'll air your block. Goes to white, black, brown, or cops. Better get down when them choppers chop. Bet you respect mine when the pops pop. Pop. Different hurt. When she got the call, it shook the earth. Kill a child, she do 100 miles to save a baby to be there first. She'll put the 9 up in the purse. Feel the pain of giving birth. She'll buy the drink and call the girls and feed the killers. Go out and search. She'll roll out with us to put in work. If I got shot, she become a nurse. Lawyer pay for it, retained by her. So I don't worry about a thing about her. She bail me out and get the chalk. Won't sell me out, so I hit the mosque. And she paid for me up in the church. The devil got us, girl, I know we dirts. While we smoke narcotics, sex erotic. Snip some powder, popping perks and products. Still gotta call it lack of knowledge. Guess our kids inherit our problems. Damn, shit. This is how the devil got us. Why my niggas so fucked up? Why we only bang on us? Why you can't die for love? This is how the devil got us. This is how the devil got us. Why my niggas so fucked up? Why we only bang on us? Why you can't die for love? This is how the devil got us. Why my niggas so fucked up?
It's your boy Mason 933. We're on 76 in between 74th and Figueroa, where there's been an ambulance shooting right behind me. It happened about 6:50, where African American male in his 50s was shot just adjacent to this apartment building, and 77th on the handle, and obviously South Bureau Homicide. So it's been a second shooting in this area in the last 24 hours. Very, very, serious that people are being targeted in this area. The other shooting was an elderly couple, from my understanding, just driving down the street, in which they were followed, and the car was shot up multiple times. You could see in the back window that, they barely escaped with their lives, but 4 people was transported to the hospital from minor glass breaking and gunshot wound. Boy, Mason 933, we are on the corner of Florence and Vermont, where LAPD 77 is on the handle of an ambulance shooting that occurred in broad daylight on Easter. So family of 4 was just shot up, the whole car. So my understanding, it started possibly up the street here from 75th and Hoover, or pretty much 75th and Figueroa. But apparently the car was shot up pretty bad. Looked like they had some food. In the car, so they were enjoying their Easter feast. But however, someone decided to take a shot at this vehicle, leaving 4 people in serious condition. So if they're towing the car, it's probably not going to be a fatal shooting, thank God. But we are praying for the 4 to make it, and especially on Easter, that God shows Himself and kind of prevail the luck or the blessings on this family who's been shot up. So initially it started on 75th and Fig or Hoover. They ended up rolling here and yelling for help. So not sure why they were targeted, but in this case, we're hoping that the peace that the streets asked for and made a pact to will stay intact. Don't really know too much about this shooting other than what the LAPD put out is at 6:50 a call came out right here on 7400 block of Fig, in which they responded and seen a 50-year-old male unresponsive, not conscious or breathing. Now there is a black car that they're looking for, not sure if it's a van or SUV that left the scene along with the 50-year-old shooter, or a male in his 40s or 50s. So definitely putting out there, in the community, that pretty much advocating for peace. From what I'm hearing, this brother was pretty positive, and he was well loved in this community. And I do know some brothers from the Nation of Islam definitely put this brother on a high pedestal. So people could change their life. Not sure if it's in time, but at this case, the streets are asking for peace and mediation, and this man's life will definitely be honored, and he was well loved in this community. So I'm Nash Baker. You're definitely watching A Million Hits 2019. I just want to say peace. So I'm on 59th and Figueroa. We're just earlier today, broad daylight, there was an ambulance shooting of a female in her 20s and a 10-year-old little girl right here. So I came back at the scene to basically, see if the little girl was okay, because paramedics wasn't sure if they transported or the police transported the 10-year-old victim to the hospital. But coroner's here right now picking up the 20-year-old female. So at this time, we're definitely giving a gone and never forgotten for the female who was shot and killed along with her 10-year-old little girl. And it's been about 6 or 7 shootings within the last few days. And, it just seems like it's this car-to-car shootings where somebody rides on the side of you. It's almost like real eerie and real scary that you don't really see it coming. I mean, you could do a person real cold, and then you definitely have to learn to pick your side and to make a choice, good or evil. And in the case where kids and women are getting shot, I say to the young men who are out here, not to say all, young men are doing the shooting, it could be women as well, but in this case you got, women who were involved in the incident today, and a 10-year-old little girl. When I got here, the family was definitely distraught, and to the point where they were actually pushing and shoving with the officers. And from my understanding, they had to be restrained. I mean, you can just almost imagine the tense feeling coming up on the scene, seeing that your loved one is possibly involved in a shooting or so on and so forth. So they were able to rush the 10-year-old to the hospital, but however, the 20-year-old female, whose name is not known, was deceased here at the scene. So definitely not a scene you want to roll up on to see, with tensions rising, and definitely coming from a Nipsey Hussle shooting, and to advocate for peace, and a man who has sacrificed for peace for this community all over across the world, who knows a legacy, of Nipsey Hussle was definitely God Would Rise is what he put on his face. So.
This is Kevin Morton Price, Africatown Coalition. I was over at the 54th Street Library on 54th and Harcourt, and I was sitting in my vehicle and I heard a loud helicopter noise go by. So I jumped out of my vehicle, and I guess the president was on his way back to LAX. He had, what was that, Marine One, another helicopter, and he had 3, I guess they called Ospreys, that was trailing him. So we had 5 aerial vehicles all together, and we had those 3, which was very, because I have never seen that. I've seen some jets, but I've never seen that.
Now, how far were they in coincidence to Nipsey Hussle's shop here? I mean,
well, actually, they had to have flown by, I would say, no more than half a mile.
So he possibly could have seen the site or in the direction.
I believe he saw the site because there was a lot of people out there at the time. So it may have been less than a quarter of a mile.
And what you think about that? I mean, let's be honest here. Let's put it all out. Because see, the Bloods and the Crips just came together today.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful thing. I believe it was, Big U had maybe orchestrated this. I'm not absolutely sure, but I do know that this is the work of, our ancestor Nipsey Hussle. This is one of his dreams, that he wanted to bring Crips and Bloods together as one into unity. And so in his passing, that has happened today. We had like maybe a couple of hundred, maybe more than that, Crips and Bloods from all over the city, from Watts, from the city, from everywhere, and so men and women as well. They came out to show their unity and their solidarity behind, the ideas of this brother, this great brother who brought a lot of peace and a lot of love to South Central, to this neighborhood right here. He grew up here and he helped to put this on the map. It could have been a lot worse than what it is now. But the brothers here respected who he was. He built this corner right here, the Marathon store, the corner where that was. He was going to raise up a 7-story plus building, business complex, STEM academy, residential. The man was a part of Destination Crenshaw, 48th and Crenshaw. He had a design for that. And he was just a main supporter. He was a financial supporter, a creative supporter, But I mean, the man has put together a number of institutions within the community that empowers black people, that empowers the community.
All right, and to wrap up, brother, what you want to say? So,
in
the
closing,
election's coming.
I just want to say, the elections are coming. Everybody's going to be trying to get that black vote, going to try to sway that vote, and we have to vote our interests. We got to vote our agenda. Black power.
Thank you, sir. So it's almost been like 3 weeks and 2 days. Almost like, probably less than that since Nipsey Hussle was passed. And the same group who put on Back at It Again. What's up, Preach? All right, a man right there. And at the show of force, they're gonna do a ride to San Pedro today for all the shootings that occurred there, as well as they want to do South LA, pretty much anywhere. People. All right, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good.
Okay, good to see you. Likewise.
You too, all the time.
Yes, sir. And you got all these different groups here that came together, kind of like the last 12 tribes, LA pushing for peace, everybody from every car club, lowriders, Corvettes, and etc. coming together. But just, a lot of people, ex-gang members, sinners, beginners, everything, whites, blacks, and a ride for peace. But not only a ride, but a show that coming from Nipsey's legacy, that this will live on through these peace rides. Definitely Mr. Tony Muhammad would be, leading the way, and along with the other preachers and ministers who are in different prayer organizations for the families. So there are a lot of people who lost people here. They're wearing the t-shirts. You got the mothers and the family members of the Gone and Never Forgotten, a lot that I have filmed on A Million Hits as well. So very sad to see, that, the families are coming together for a ride for peace, but then it's also a good thing that they'll be able to help other families at this particular time. So coming from Nipsey Hussle, we had a few shootings all this month, One that I personally was down on, 59th and Fig, where a young lady lost her life and a 10-year-old was, almost pretty much critical, but was able to pull through her injuries. We also have various other shootings to talk about as we take this peace ride to San Pedro. So I'm Nash Baker, Masonite, whatever you want to call me. You're watching A Million Hits 2019 for the Gone and Never Forgotten. Peace.